Hey guys, hope you had a fantastic trading day today. It was a lot of fun. The sun's out, bulls are out, 5G is looking good, and we're going to check out our 5G ETF. We're going to take a look at 5 tickers, and we'll call it good. So, on the daily time frame, looking first at the 5G ETF, we saw an initial loss of our 5 EMA. Bulls managed to hold things together, buying up a dip in a pretty big way. And what we're trying to do right now is lock in a higher low on the daily time frame. 2492, or also known as 2492, is the key level that we need to hold on the daily time frame. This could be it. I'd like to see another test of the EMA 12 to really lock that in for more confidence, and we'll take it as it goes. But right now, bulls still in control of the daily time frame with a big dip buy here. On the 4-hour time frame, we are trying to set higher lows. We bounced right up of our EMA 26 on the 4-hour, tightening up a little bit, so not as confident in the 4-hour trend. And if we go to the hourly, our liquidity starts to drop, but we've lost our hourly uptrend, possibly looking at a hourly trend change to the downside. What bulls need to do is absolutely fight to stay alive and stay over 25.16. That will allow us to try and retake this trend. Here's our bullish trend on the hourly. Here's our trend change with loss of our key level, and now we're looking for a lower high. Anything underneath, what am I going to look at? Probably this guy, 25.47 would be our most generous low. Anything under 25.47 is going to be a lower high on the hourly time frame. So bulls currently in charge of the daily, not in charge of the hourly, and at risk of losing the 4-hour time frame. So let's go check out our tickers. So the first one we're going to look at today, AVGO. We'll clear our charts. AVGO on the daily time frame. Another consolidation day, another test of our EMA 5, and we held that. We're seeing some profit taking today, and it's not unexpected. We had a big run up where we're chopping around, we're consolidating, we're cooling off that RSI. We are now at 68.36, and this is the sort of action that we need to see on the daily time frame to get ready for another move to the upside if and when that's going to come. Right now, short-term resistance, I'm looking at 316.40, and then our high up here at 319.50. Let's save that chart. Also, I'm going to pay attention to today's high day, 315.71. Now, we got to be open to the idea that we could see downside action today, or tomorrow, I should say. So I'm going to be watching low day, 312 psychological, 310.84, and then below that, well, hopefully we don't have to cover that tomorrow. But we need to be aware that we move very quickly on the daily time frame, so there's not a lot of support. If we get down here, we can move fairly aggressively. So bulls still in control of the daily. And on the 4-hour time frame, bulls still in charge, trying to set higher lows. Our last low was above 310.84, so anything above that level is going to see the bulls in control. However, it's likely we are looking at a loss of the hourly uptrend. Here's that uptrend. We gave up our key support levels. Now we're looking at an hourly downtrend. A little bit of a counter trend. As long as we stay above that 310.84 for the 4-hour, bulls are going to be okay. But if we lose 310.84, our next 4-hour support isn't until 305.15, and below that, well, this is where we get dicey. We got a big drop all the way down to 293.67. Likely we would see some oversold bounces and carve out new areas of support, but we simply just don't want to go down there. A lot of us are interested in some healthy consolidation and further upside, but we need to be aware of all scenarios for our entries. AVGO, daily strong, 4-hour strong, hourly, showing that first sign of weakness with those potential supports being up for grabs. MRVL on the daily time frame. This guy is more extended than AVGO. We aren't seeing that healthy consolidation yet. What we're seeing here on MRVL is what we are currently looking at on AVGO. So there is potential upside, and this is what it looks like. We get a breakout, we consolidate sideways, we hold our 5 EMA, we look healthy, we stay strong, we deal with a couple trend changes, and then we see upside continuation. On MRVL, that has already played out. 28.38 is a key level of resistance that I am watching. Today's action was strong on decreased volume, a little bit of indecision with the upper and lower wicks, doesn't have the commitment that we saw yesterday, and very cautious about that 28.38 level. So we need to keep a close eye on that. Bulls still in control with our last low down here at 26.45. So a long way to go and still being able to call this a daily uptrend. 4-hour time frame, here's that consolidation, that breakout over a key level, consolidating again. RSI just cooling off at 64.02. Our last 4-hour support, 27.62. And on the hourly time frame, no real clear direction, no real clarity. We need to hold a higher low over 27.62 to try and set up some sort of pattern that will let us take another crack at 28.38. I would be interested on a buy above 28.38, being very, very cautious about my stop levels, knowing we're very, very overextended on the daily time frame. But if the bulls are still here and they still want to play, I'm not going to get it steamrolled by them, and I'm not going to play counter that momentum. So close eye, 28.38. That is our initial area of interest on MRVL on tomorrow's trading action. And we want to see if we can hold today's low of after hours. Let's go take a look at the 5-minute time frame. After hours low, 27.80 is our current level. 5-minute downtrend, 15-minute downtrend, hourly choppy, needing that higher low over 27.62. XLNX is our next ticker. Checking this guy out on the daily time frame. Let's clear out some charts, and we'll take a look at that key level and see if we talked about this one yesterday, 94.64. The context of that being a double bottom support, and it looks like we opened very, very low today. Well, slightly lower, I should say, underneath that level. Looks like we may even tested it briefly before pulling back in a relatively big way. So here we are bouncing off that level. Yesterday, we opened below, had an initial test. Bulls tried to get back up there again and just couldn't. Pretty much a bearish trend for most of the day, 15-minute downtrend everywhere, unable to hold any sort of supports. And what we're looking for right now is an oversold bounce on the hourly. The initial one was quite good, but we're still in an hourly downtrend. So where are we on the daily time frame? Let's get rid of that 94.64 level. This is a weekly setup, so we are able to go below the trend line here that I've drawn without it really being a big issue on the daily time frame. We go below, as long as we close above on the weekly, we're going to be okay. So what we're looking for right now on the daily time frame is going to be a lower low, because we are in a lower high, lower low pattern. Just very, very hard to see it here. I would draw it something like this. Then we gapped up, and now we're in another daily lower high, lower low pattern. So what I'm trying to figure out is where we are going to carve out support. I want to see something, and it's not going to be pretty, but something above 89.83. If we go below that, then we're going to break bare on this overall pattern, and I'm not going to be interested in XLNX for a long time. What I want to do is see that daily higher low set, and I want to see some trend changes. It may come tomorrow. It may come on Friday. We have no idea when it's going to come, but we're just going to anticipate a daily higher low somewhere in here, ideally right against that pattern. 4-hour bears are very much in control. Hourly bears, 15-minute bears. Everyone's bearish on XLNX. We're looking for that turnaround. And why are we looking for that turnaround? Because of this weekly pattern. We're grinding support, and as soon as bulls show up, we've got a lot of opportunity here, not a lot of resistance, at least in the initial part of this pattern. And should we break out, we're going to get into this other area without a lot of weekly resistance. So a lot of potential here. There's just no real setup quite yet. So I may remove XLNX from the video rotation, at least until this pattern plays out and gets us into a more prime position, because there are better options out there right now. INSG on the daily time frame, continuing to tighten the range, and this is getting very interesting. Inside bar, inside bar, inside bar, and I know we're breaking it by pennies, but look at the range here, 450. I keep talking about this all the time in the community, and it's just making us money every single time. We dip down to 450, it bounces, and we get great plays. Today's action was a little bit of an indecision setup. We saw that drop. We saw that just sideways chop action. Bulls spot the dip, going right back into that trading range. The perfect doji, or not doji, I should say. Perfect indecision candlestick. Almost a doji. You know what? If you call it a doji, I'd give it to you. But just complete indecision. So what are we waiting for? We're waiting for a breakout of this lower high pattern that we're seeing on the hourly time frame. It doesn't quite fit any drawing. It doesn't quite fit the descending triangle. It doesn't quite fit anything. All that matters is we're setting lower highs, and we're setting consistent basis support at 450. So right now, I will buy everything at 450. I will bail as soon as we get on the other side of 450, because that support is gone. But what I'm watching for is these consistent bounces off 450, and I'm going to look for an overall break to the bull side outside of this pattern, because eventually these bulls who are sitting here at 450 absorbing all of these blows are going to get eager, and they're going to want to chase this price. That's at least the psychology behind that. So what we do is look for that action to come in. As soon as it looks like we're no longer setting these lower highs and we're seeing a trend change, we're going to move pretty aggressively to the upside, and I could see us moving pretty easily up until the 540s and 580s without really seeing any resistance on the 4-hour time frame. We'll be overbought by that point, but sometimes the bulls just don't care about RSIs. So close eye on INSG. ADI on the daily time frame. What is this guy doing? A lot of strength today. We broke yesterday's high day, but we're still dealing with 114.43, so we're not out of the woods yet. Could easily pull back and just continue this lower high, higher low, semi-equilibrium that we're seeing. Should we break over 114.43, we will look bullish. For the short term, 116.19, 118.46 are going to be our resistance levels. If we go to the 4-hour time frame, bulls in charge with this ascending triangle formation, higher lows, higher highs, grinding right into that level. And on the after hours, we don't have a lot of action, but we'll see where we open tomorrow. If we can get right to 114.43, test it, pull back, and just keep hammering at that, it's going to be good for the bulls. I'm interested in a play on the break of 114.43. Let's see if the bulls can pull this off. Our RSI is happy on the 30, happy on the 65, pretty much primed and ready to go on all of these time frames. Let's see if bulls can do it tomorrow. ADI may be the play of the day for us, so pay close attention to that level. That's it, guys. I'm having a lot of fun trading 5G. The community on TheChartGuys who are focused exclusively on 5G is growing. If you trade these stocks, you got to come check out this little community. It's a microcosm of the greater TCG community, which is just full of hundreds and hundreds and hundreds of amazing people, incredibly supportive, incredibly knowledgeable, and you got to be there. If you like charts, you fit right in. Anyway, have a good one, and I'll talk to you tomorrow.